Uh, Welcome back to the video lecture class on basic graph theory. The title of the topic is graph theory and discrete mathematical structures. So under this we'll go through the unit number 4 called basic graph theory. Basically, the graph theory has vast variety of applications in computer science, engineering, in chemistry, as well as in traffic management, so on and so forth. But we'll not go in detail about the applications part right now. We'll go to the theoretical explanation and theoretical examples related to the basic terminologies in graph theory in very first class. Then we'll go ahead with the applications examples wherever necessary in detail. So, in a graph theory, first we try to define the word called graph right now. So first I will write down the definition of graph, then we'll move to the examples related with the graph theory. So the basic definition is a graph G consists of a non-empty finite set V, which is called a vertex set, and set E, so this is called edge set E of unordered space of vertex set V, where elements of E are called edges. So this is the theoretical definition of a graph. So we'll see the corresponding example here. So let us consider an example. So G, a graph with 3 vertices. I will name this as V1, V2 and V3. So correspondingly the edges E1, E2 and E3. So if I say graph is G is a graph, it has 2 ordered pairs. So G has 2 ordered pairs, that is a vertex set and edge set. So here vertex means either they are nodes or points. Here edge means a line joining between 2 vertices. Say for example, vertex V1 and V2 are joined by E1, vertex V2, V3 joined by E2, vertex V3, V1 joined by E3. So here edge E corresponding to the adjacent with 2 vertices. So therefore, here this E1 can be equivalently written as unordered pair of vertices. So here V1, E2. So ordered pair here V1, V2 represents an edge. Similarly, E2 represents V2, V3. E3 represents V3, V1. So a collection of vertices as well as edge is called a graph here. So now we see the classifications of different types of graph here. So let us consider another graph. Say I'll name it as a G1. I will consider it the same set of vertices. Say for example V1, V2, V3. I'll name this edge as E1, E2 and E3. Even though the graph is similar, but I'll change. There is a change that I am using arrow mark in the line. So if you observe this, the difference between this graph G and graph G1, here there is no direction in this graph, there is a direction in this graph. So if E1 is an edge, here it is only the vertex V1 to V2. not V2 to V1 here. So this does not exist in this case. So here direction is there, so V1 to V2. Similarly, V2 to V3 and V3 to V1. But here in this graph, there is no direction exist in this graph. Here you can consider V1, V2, which is also equivalent to V2, V1. But in this case, here V1, V2 is not equal to V2, V1 because direction is from V1 to V2. So these type of graphs are called directed graphs. These types of graphs are called directed graphs. These type of graphs are called undirected graphs. These types of graphs are called undirected graphs. So for your syllabus, we have only the undirected graphs, so we will not consider this graph. So here majorly we have two types of graphs here. One is a directed graph and another one is a undirected graph here. So right now whatever we discuss here is basically concentrating on undirected graph. Let us consider two more examples here. I'll name this graph as G2. Again I will consider the similar type of graph because it is very easy to understand. G2, again which is a set of vertices, 3, that is V1, V2 and V3, E1, E2, E3. Here in this case I will consider one more edge. So here this E4 is edge joining V2 to V2. Here end point is also V2, starting point is also and V2. In other case, that is G3, I will consider one more graph. Again it is also with the same set of vertices, V1, V2, V3. So it is E1, E2, E3. Instead of using V1, V2, I will use one more edge which joins. It is I will name this as E4. Again it is from V1 to E2. So here it is not necessary that always only one edge exists between two vertices. No, we have n number of edges may exist between a pair of vertices. So then what is the major difference between these three different graphs? Here edge E has a one starting point and end point as the same vertex. It is called a loop here. So end points are same, so therefore it is called a loop. In this case, two vertices has two edges in common, so therefore these two lines are called parallel edges. Parallel edges. So in these type of graphs where loop exists as well as multiple edges exist, in other words parallel edge exists, then these types of graphs are called multigraphs. These type of graphs are called multigraphs. So I will go to the technical or theoretical definition of a multigraph. If a graph is said to be a multigraph, I will repeat it once again. A graph is said to be a multigraph if it includes loop or a parallel edge. I will repeat the definition of a multigraph once again. A graph G is said to be a multigraph which includes either a loop or a parallel edge. So then the graph is said to be a multigraph. Now the question will come into the picture. In this graph, here there is no loop and there is no parallel edges. So then for what kind of graph is said to be this G? So if a graph G with no loops and parallel edges is called, if a graph with no loops and no parallel edges, and if this is called a simple graph. So this type of graph is called a simple graph. Again, I will repeat the definition once again. If a graph is said to be a simple graph, if it does not include either loop or a parallel edges. If at least one of those is present, then we can say it is a multiple graph. So therefore, right now we have gone through the main classifications, that is directed graphs and undirected graphs. Here we concentrate only on undirected graphs. So therefore, under undirected graphs, again we classified two types of graphs here. One is a simple graph, and another one is called a multi-graph. And again, in this course, we only concentrate it on only a simple graph. So we concentrated on simple graph. So therefore, we will not go in detail or we will not do anything about the multi-graph. So again, under the simple graph concept, we will go in detail about some basic definitions and basic terminologies. Now we will move to the very important concept of graph theory, which leads us to think many applications problems. So that is called a degree of a graph vertex. So now we will move to the next definition called degree of a vertex. So first I will write down the definition, then I will deal with some examples. Degree of a vertex. The degree of a vertex V in a graph is the number of edges meeting at V, and it is denoted by degree of P or D of P. Let us consider an example here. Let us consider an example. I will consider this graph G with 5 vertices. I will name this as V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, and E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7. So here graph has 5 vertices. So I will take a vertex set V as V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, and edge set E as E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7. So here the number of vertices are 5, number of edges are 7. So therefore I will represent this cardinality of V is equal to 5. So because number of vertices are 5 here, I will represent the cardinality of edge E is 7. So that is number of edges are present in set E. Now we try to find out the degree of each vertex in this graph. Here, first I will start with degree of V1. According to the definition, the number of edges will be meeting at a point. In this graph, for a vertex V1, edge E5 and E1 will meet at point V1. So therefore, degree of a vertex is 2. For degree of a vertex V2, for this vertex E1, E2 and E6 will meet at that point. So therefore, degree is 3 here. So similarly, degree of V3 is also 3 because E7, E2 and E3 will meet at V3, and similarly degree of V4 is also 3 and degree of V5 is also 3. So this is how all about how to find out the degree of a vertex. Now based on this example, we move one step ahead. We try to explain the next concept using this example. So first I will add all these degree of each vertex. Now in this step I will add degree of each vertex one by one. If I add this degree of each vertex, I will represent it as summation of degree of each vertex. I will just represent it as EI. 3 plus 3 plus 2, that is 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So the sum of the degree of each vertex is 14. So which implies sum of degree of each vertex, that is degree of V, is equal to 14. I will rewrite this 14 as 2 times 7. So if you observe this 7, which represents the number of edges here. So therefore this 7 is number of edges. So therefore degree of Vi is equal to 2 times E, where E represents number of edges. So this E is cardinality of E, and this is called handshaking property. This is called handshaking property. So theoretically saying the handshaking property, for a graph G, for a vertex set V and edge set E, if cardinality of E is equal to small e, where this E represents the number of edges, then the sum of degree of each vertex is equal to 2 times E. I will repeat the handshaking property once again. For any graph G with vertex set and edge set, but the cardinality of edge set is E, that is number of edges present in E, then the sum of degree of each vertex is equal to 2 times the number of edges. Sum of degree of each vertex is equal to 2 times the number of edges. So this is called the handshaking property, and very first property in a graph theory. So now in the next we try to solve some examples based on this handshaking property. So in next question, here even we can verify here also whether the handshaking property is valid or not. So this is sum of degree of each vertex is 14, and it is 2 into 7 is also a 14. So therefore handshaking property is always holds good for any type of graph. So don't think that whether handshaking property is only valid for simple graph. No, even handshaking property is valid for even multigraph also. So why it is 2 times E on RHS part, we'll just glance by taking this example. See the edge, if you see any edge in this graph, this edge E5 is contributing to both V1 and V5. I'll repeat it once again. If you consider an edge E5, the contribution of this E5 is both corresponding to vertex V5 as well as vertex V1. So therefore its contribution is 2 here. Every edge has 2 times contribution. So that is, so therefore that 2 times contribution will leads us to write 2 times edge here. So therefore this property is called a handshaking property. Now we'll consider some examples based on this degree of a vertex. So we'll solve some more examples. How many edges, how many edges are there in a graph with 10 vertices, each of degree 6. I repeat the question once again. How many edges exist we need to calculate in this question? So here the number of edges you need to calculate, but they have given the number of vertices and degree of each vertex is given here. Given that cardinality of V stands for the number of vertices are present in this graph. So in this graph, the number of vertices are 10. So therefore, cardinality of V is equal to 10. But here cardinality of E is not given. We need to calculate that part. That cardinality of E is need to be calculated. But the degree of each vertex is given. So that is 6. So now using handshaking property. Degree of sum of degree of each vertex is equal to 2 times E. Here E is need to be determined. So therefore, which implies the sum of degree of each vertex. How many vertices are there? 10. Each degree has 6. So therefore, it is 10 times 6, which is equal to 2 times E. So which implies 2E is equal to 60, which implies E is equal to 60 divided by 2, so which implies E is equal to 30. So therefore, the cardinality of E means the number of edge in this graph is 30. So we need to calculate how many edges are there in this graph. So the answer for this question is 30 edges are present in this graph. So even we can solve a number of examples using this property called handshaking property, and we note that if you see the RHS part of handshaking property, it is 2 times E, it is always even. So the sum of the degree of each vertex is always even. We can see this one property. In the next question, we consider the application part of the handshaking property. Application part of handshaking property. In a hydrocarbon molecule, a hydrogen atom a hydrogen atom is bonded to exactly one carbon atom and a carbon atom bonds to 4 atoms. Can a hydrocarbon molecule with 3 carbon atoms and 5 hydrogen atoms exist. Here the question is, basically the question deal with the hydrocarbon molecule, but in general if we speak in terms of a graph, so for a given set of graph, for a given set of data whether a graph exists or not. So we try to solve this question using handshaking property. So first we write down the given set of data here. So first of all, the molecule is here hydrocarbon molecule. So in other words, here only the atoms exist in this molecule is only either carbon or a hydrogen. Therefore, here only two atoms exist, that is also either hydrogen or a carbon molecule or both together. But here we need to see the given set of data. The hydrogen bonded exactly one carbon atom. So the meaning of this line is, if a hydrogen atom exists, it has connection only with carbon. That is also one carbon atom. It will not say more than one, because the word exactly is used. Exactly one carbon, not more than that. Here, if I take a molecule where hydrogen atom has a connection with two carbon atoms, no, this hydro molecule not exist, because we are considering an hydrogen atom exactly with one carbon atom. I will repeat it once again. Here we are considering an hydrogen atom is bonded only with exactly one carbon atom. So therefore, it is not possible to have more than two carbon atoms which is associated with the hydrogen atom. So therefore, the degree of each hydrogen atom is always 1 here. So here H stands for the hydrogen atoms, therefore degree of each hydrogen atom is always 1. And next is carbon atom bonds to 4 atoms. Here they will not say only associated with hydrogen, only associated with carbon. No, maybe hydrogen, maybe carbon, depends on the hydrocarbon molecule. So therefore, but the carbon atom exactly with 4 atoms. So therefore, the degree of the carbon atoms is 4 here. Now, and given set of data is, the hydrocarbon molecule has 3 hydrocarbon atoms and 5 hydrogen atoms. So I will write here 3 carbon atoms and 5 hydrogen atoms. So therefore, the vertex set V is represented as C1, C2, C3, H1, H2, H3, H4, H5. That is, capital H will take only the hydrogen atoms, H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and the carbon atoms only C1, C2, C3. So therefore, here degree of capital H means degree of each hydrogen atom is 1, degree of capital C means degree of each carbon atom is 1. So therefore, if you see the handshaking property, the sum of degree of each vertex, here vertex set has 2 set of vertices, one is hydrogen and the other is carbon. So degree of each vertex is 1, degree of each carbon atom is 4. So therefore, if you add degree of each vertex using handshaking property, degree of each vertex is equal to 2 times E. Here E, the number of edges. So there is no data provided about the edge in this question. So therefore, here sum of degree of each vertex is calculated like this. I will only concentrate on only hydrogen atoms. So degree of each vertex is 1, but how many number of hydrogen atoms are there? 5 number of hydrogen atoms. So therefore, 5 into 1 plus the degree of each carbon atom is 4, but the number of carbon atoms are present in this molecule is 3. So therefore, 4 into 3 is equal to 2 times E, which implies 5 plus 12 is equal to 2E, which implies 17 is equal to 2. which implies E is equal to 17 divided by 2. So, which is not possible because this is even. So, this is odd. So, therefore, the hydrocarbon molecule does not exist. So, we will see some more example here now. Next question, show that there is no graph exists with 12 vertices and 28 edges. Show that there is no graph exists with 12 vertices and 28 edges for the degree of each vertex is either 3 or 4. Okay. In this question, we straight away need to show that the graph is not possible to draw for this given set of data. In other words, similarly the previous case, we have shown that left hand side is odd number, right hand side is even number. It is enough to show the similar case. But the question is in a different format, so therefore the solution is also we can write in a different format, not similar to the previous question. In this question, first we need write down the given set of data. What is required to calculate whether the graph is exists or not. So first of all, we need to write down the given set of data for this question. Given that the number of vertices are given. So here cardinality of V is given. Here cardinality of V stands for what? It stands for the number of vertices are present in a vertex set. Similarly, the cardinality of E is also given, that is the number of edges present in edge set, it is 28. But we need to, the second condition is given that the degree of each vertex is either 3 or 4, not given how many vertices are degree with 4 and how many of vertices with degree 3. They are just mentioned either 3 or 4. Here there is no vertex exists other than 3 or 4. If suppose I have a degree of vertex V is equal to 1, then this is not vertex exists in this graph. Either it has a 3 or 4. What I will do, let K be the number of vertices. So, be the number of vertices pair or with degree 3. So, therefore, if K vertices are there, the degree of each that K vertices are 3. So, which implies this K lying in between 0 and 12, because the cardinality of vertex set is 12. If I take K is degree of 3 or 4, because 3 or 4 is used, so therefore this K may be 0 or this K may be 12. So therefore K is lying in between 0 and 12. So if K vertices are there with degree 3, then what about with degree 4? So that is 12 minus K be the number of vertices. 12 minus K be the number of vertices with degree 4. Therefore, using handshaking property, the degree of sum of degree of each vertex is equal to 2 times E. But here two classified degrees are given, one is degree 3 and another one is degree 4. So therefore first one is 3 times K, because degree of K vertices is 3, and second one is 4 times 12 minus K, because 12 minus K is the number of vertices with degree 4, which is equal to 2E. So which implies 3K plus 48 minus 4K is equal to 2 times E. Here E stands for the number of edges, that is 28. So which implies 3K minus 4K is minus K is equal to 56 minus 48, which implies minus K is equal to 8, which implies K is equal to minus 8. So if you see the nature of K, K is lying between 0 to 12, but K we end up with minus 8. So therefore, which is a contradiction, since K is positive. Since K is a positive. So therefore, what is the answer to this question? Whether graph exists or not is the question. So therefore, graph does not exist for this type of nature. So similarly, we can calculate or we can solve a number of questions using handshaking property here. Now, we discuss some different types of graphs with their respective nature. Now we discuss the different types of graphs here. Different types of graphs. Here I will not go into the theoretical definition, but I will explain term by term. That is, I will explain the different types of graphs by taking up some examples here. To deal with the first type of graph, I will consider a graph G1. Here, vertex is V1, V2, V3, V4. I will consider G2, again the same set of vertices, V1, V2, V3 and V4. I will consider one more graph, G3, again with the same set of vertices. So because it's very easy to understand, this is V1, V2, V3, V4. So I will join this V1, V2, V2, V1, V3 and V4, V3. So if you observe the graph G1, G2, G3, there is no edge exists. There does not exist an edge between V1, V3 and V2, V4. In this graph, there is no edge between V1, V3 and V2, V4. Here, there does not exist an edge from V2, V4. But in this graph, every pair of vertices are connected by an edge. So if you observe these graphs G1, G2, G3, here there is no edge exists between V1, V3 as well as V2, V4. Similarly, V2, V4 are not connected, but here every pair of vertices are connected by an edge. So therefore, in a graph G, if every pair of a vertex is connected by an edge, then that type of graph is called complete graph. That type of graph is called a complete graph. Therefore, the first type of graph is complete graph. So here we observe some terminologies. So these graphs, complete graphs, are represented as Kn. These type of graphs are represented as Kn here. So here n stands for the number of vertices. Here n stands for cardinality of P is equal to n, the number of vertices. So in this graph G3, it is a complete graph because every pair of vertices are connected by an edge. So therefore, this represented as K4 because it is a complete graph. We can observe some properties of a complete graph here. Here, the number of vertices are 4, and if you see the degree of each vertex, so therefore, here the number of vertices in this graph is equal to 4. If you see the degree of each vertex, that is V1, V2, V3 is 3. So that is I is equal to 1, 2, 3 and 4. This I stands for degree of V high here. So therefore degree of each vertex is 3. So in general, if a graph is with n vertices, so therefore degree of each vertex is n minus 1. For a complete graph, degree of each vertex is n minus 1. And even though we can see the number of edges are present in this graph, so the cardinality of E is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 6 edges exist. So if I want to write a general formula to calculate the number of edges in this graph is NC2. So that is the cardinality of E is equal to NC2. So even though we can verify with the number of edges are present in this graph, that is NC2. So here N stands for the number of vertices, that is 4. So which is equal to 4C2. So that is 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 2 factorial. So therefore, which is equal to 4, 3, 2, 1 divided by 2, 1 into 2, 1. So therefore, this 2 gets cancelled with 4, so which is equal to. So therefore, the number of edges we can calculate using the formula called NC2. So this is all about the definition of a complete graph here. So even we can calculate the number of edges or number of degree of each vertex using this property. Now, again I will consider this the same graph because we will move to the next concept. Now, so this is a second type of graph. Again I will consider the same graph G. It is V1, V2, V3 and V4. So here my question is whether is it possible to redraw this graph in a different format? But the nature is same. Yes, the question answer to this question is yes. So I will draw the same graph with the same set of vertices in a different format. That is, here V1, V3, I will consider one set of vertex, and V4, V2, and another set of vertex. Here V1 is adjacent with V2, V1 is adjacent with V2, V1 is adjacent with V4. V1 is adjacent with V4. Similarly, V3 is adjacent with V2. V3 is adjacent with V2. V3 is adjacent with V4. So I will repeat it once again. If I start with V1, V1 is adjacent with V2 and V4. V1 is adjacent with V2 and V4. Here V2, V2 is adjacent with V1, V3. V2 is adjacent with V1 and V3. V3 is adjacent with V2 and V4. V3 is adjacent with V3 and V4. And similarly, this V4 is adjacent with V1 and V3. V4 is adjacent with V1 and V3. See, here we are moving to the next type of graph. Here what I did is, the vertex set V, it is V1, V2, V3 and V4 is partitioned into different sets. I will say it is U, which is V1 and V2, sorry, V1 and V3, and another partition set I will say it is a W, so it is V4 and V2. So means I have considered two subsets here, U and W, but the condition is that is such that the intersection of U, W is null set. The intersection of two partition sets, that is U and W, it is a null set. So this condition is compulsory. But the edge exists from a vertex set U to vertex set W. I will repeat it once again. An edge exists between a vertex set U to vertex set W. So if you say this is W and U, so therefore the edge exists between only U and W here. So if you see this is corresponding to U, and if you see this V2 and V4 corresponding to W. So therefore edge exists between these set of vertices. So therefore this type of graphs are called bipartite graphs. This graph is called a bipartite graph. So I will define this graph. Now if a vertex set exists, that is V, then if you partitioned into two subsets, that is U and W, where U intersection W is always empty set, then the edge exists between U and W, then that type of graph is called a bipartite graph here. This is called a bipartite graph. So again we have n number of different types of graph under called bipartite graph. So there is one more graph which is called a complete. So now we consider some more examples in bipartite graph. So now we'll consider some more graphs here. So that is V1, V2, V3, V4, V5 and V6. So this is also a bipartite graph. I will consider one more graph, G2. So V1, V2, V3. So that is V1, V2 and V3. V4, V5 and V6. So this is also a bipartite graph. So the major difference between these two graphs is, every pair of, if you take this is U, if you take this is W, every pair of U comma W adjacent with edge, every pair of U connected by an edge. Every pair of U comma W is connected by an edge. But here there is no edge exists between these two vertices. So therefore this type of graph are called complete bipartite graph. This is called a complete bipartite graph. So the third one is complete bipartite graph. This is called a complete bipartite graph. Now I will define the theoretical definition of a complete bipartite graph. If a graph is said to be a complete bipartite graph, if the vertex set V is 1 to 2, sir. If a complete graph is said to be a complete bipartite graph, if the vertex set is partitioned into two subsets, U and W, and one more condition is important, U intersection W is null set. This is very important. If U intersection W is a null set, then every pair of vertices U comma W is connected by an edge. So then that type of graph is called a complete bipartite graph. And these bipartite graphs are represented as KMN. So this graph is called a bipartite graph. Now we'll move to the next concept. Again, I consider some examples and we'll define the example theoretical definition afterwards. Let us consider a graph here. I will take a G, V1, V2, V3 and V4. I will consider G1 graph here. So that is V1, V2, V3. I will consider one more graph, G2. V1, V2 and V3, sorry V4. I will consider one more graph, G3. So that is V1, V2, V3, V1, V2 and V3. So I will name these edges as E1, E2, E3, E4. So this is E1, E2, this is E4 and E1, E1, E2. So if you see the graph G, I will say it is a main graph with the vertex set V1, V2, V3, V4. In this graph G1, again it is a V1, V2, V3 are present in this graph. V1, V2, V4 are present in this graph. V1, V2, V3 are present in this graph. So if V1 or V2 are connected in G, V1, V2 are connected in G1. V1, V2 are connected in G1. V1, V2 are connected in G1. If such type of graph exists, they are called a subgraph. Now we verify one by one. We verify whether G1 is subgraph or not. First and foremost thing is vertex set is similar. That is V1, V2 and V3. V1, V2, V3 are present in this graph. So therefore vertex set is similar. And adjacency will also preserve. I will repeat it once again. Adjacency will also preserve. Means if V1 and V2 are connected in G, V1 and V2 are also connected in G1. So therefore we verify it. Here V1, V2 are connected. Here V1, V2 are connected. V2, V3 are connected. V2, V3 are connected. So then this is called a subgraph. Now we verify G2. Now V1, V2, V4 are present in this graph. Yes, the vertex set are present. V1, V2 is adjacent in G2. Similarly, V1, V2 are adjacent in E1. V1, V4 are adjacent in G2. V1, V4 are adjacent in G. So therefore, adjacency will also preserve. Then this is subgraph of G. But in this edge is not present in this graph. This edge is not present in this graph. So therefore, we can say then G3 is not subgraph of G. Similarly, we consider one more example, very simple example which is again similar to it. I will consider one more graph, that is G4, V1, V2, V3 and V4. Instead of that, I will take it as only this V1, V2, E1 and V3. So again, in this graph, that is G4, V2 and V3 are not connected, but they are connected in G. So therefore, G4 is not a subgraph. It is a graph, but it is not a subgraph of G. So that is one more type of graph. That is again we will deal with the subgraph. So now I will define the theoretical definition. If a graph is G or G4 is a subgraph of G, if there exists a vertex set of a G4 and edge set of G4, those vertex set and edge set of G4 are subsets of G. Here, not only the subset, here adjacency will also preserve. Adjacency will carry from G to G4 to G, like that. If adjacency will preserve, then only we can say the obtained graph is a subgraph of major graph. Here G3 is not a graph. Here G4 is not a subgraph because V2, V3 are not connected here. V2, V3 are connected in major graph. So therefore it is not a subgraph. But here V1, V3 are connected here. But V1, V3 are not connected in main graph. So therefore G3 is not a subgraph. So now in this class we have gone through the basic definition of a graph and in detail and majorly different types of graphs. So we wind up my class here and we'll see you in the next class with different topics. Thank you.